Hello everyone. Usual disclaimer, I want Star Citizen to become a fantastic game and a huge success. I am way past concierge. I just don't have any hope left with Chris and CIG's top management. I just came home and I saw this on CIG's website. You have been put on probation until Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. You can no longer post on the community forums and public chat channels. So this is a 1-week ban from Spectrum and in-game chat. And here are notifications. Moderator has deleted your reply inside the thread. CIG, please add weight to ships. It's time. In fact, it's time yesterday. For the following reasons: insulting comments and assertions on the topic of staff. I would like to point out I never insulted any staff of CIG and I don't want to. But if this comment that I will show you soon is insulting to the staff, I guess I can never ever post on Spectrum again, because everything will just get deleted and I will get banned again. Moderator also deleted my reply inside the thread. Give us the old Skybox back. Again, insulting comments and assertions on the topic of staff. Well, I have to admit, sometimes I just recopy my older replies. CIG, you might want to remove this too. This is from January 25th. This is exactly one of the comments CIG removed and why I was banned. The old Skybox looked beautiful. See my video. Here's my video. CIG claimed, Nico CIG, August 2024. We have changed the Skybox to give a better read to ships in space. Because we had so much blackness in the Skybox, in many lighting conditions, ships would become almost invisible, which made making out structures on other ships very difficult. With a Skybox containing more ambient color, ships will have much stronger silhouettes against the backdrop of space. It was also to lend Stanton as a system a more unique identity, especially as we head towards 1.0 and more systems come online. And here's a link, exactly what I wrote, so I didn't insult any staff. I wrote, which of course didn't make sense in August 2024 and doesn't make sense now with night vision. We cannot see small ships in space at a distance of over 400 meters anyway, with the old beautiful and new ugly Skybox anyway. This is why we have radar and targeting. CIG, please give us the beautiful Skybox back. I don't know why this comment was insulting towards staff. This is exactly what CIG removed. I just copy and pasted my older reply. And my reply was online for at least 2 days. Insulting comments and assertions on the topic of staff. I guess quoting CIG and putting in links is now considered insulting comments and assertions on the topic of staff. Has CIG hired an AI? And my reply was online and visible on Spectrum for a few days. CIG, you might want to remove my other reply too. Another comment was removed, 3+ shields, for the following reasons. I quoted again John Crew. I guess quoting what John Crew and other CIG employees say is now insulting comments and assertions on the topic of staff. And then we have this thread. Moderator has deleted your reply inside the thread. CIG, please add weight to ships. It's time. In fact, it's time yesterday. Again, insulting comments and assertions on the topic of staff. This is this thread and CIG removed my reply. But luckily, I still could find it. Red's Resort made a video and my comment is in his video. Let's read it. We don't have any mass simulation yet, no inertia, nothing feels weighty. Ships, vehicles, racks, containers, etc. have the mass of an empty paper bag. This directly has an effect on driving physics. No mass simulation, no inertia leads to massive oversteering. No feedback for the driver. Ground vehicles just pivot around the center, Z-axis. A 70-ton Nova tank on one-sheet planets jumps around as if it would be made out of paper. To be honest, I think this ship has sailed. If a game wants to have some physics, even very basic ones, it has to be done from the start. If CIG would try to put some basic physics into Star Citizen now, some basic mass simulation, some inertia, this would break a lot of things and a lot of the quick and dirty fixes. And again, this is an old text I used previously on Spectrum. Chris 2012, yes, this is old, but people read this and decided to give Chris money. As someone that was taking physics at Manchester University before dropped out to make games full-time, I can assure everyone that the physics model is completely accurate and it's a full rigid body simulation. And I put in the link. Here's a link and here's a quote that is still on CIG's website. 1-to-1 copied. I didn't alter anything. Let's continue. Chris was also talking about a Newtonian flight model. The key thing to remember is that the intelligent flight control system is just the interface between the physical simulation of the ship's movement via its thrusters and the force they exert. I see a lot of posts talking about the desire for Newtonian mode. The physics simulation is already a full Newtonian rigid body simulation. And again, I put in the link. And here we have the article. And again, it's just to copy what Chris wrote. I didn't alter anything. The physics simulation is already a full Newtonian rigid body simulation. We still don't have this and never will. CIG is faking thrust vectors. Most spaceships and star systems would just tumble in space because the vector of thrust of the engines is not aligned with the center of mass. Most engines are not gimbaled. This would be like driving a car without steering. Or look at the comical hover mode of Cutlass and Corsair. Rear engine is pointing down, nothing to balance it at the front or center. Ship would just flip over in atmosphere and space. Faking thrust vectors is of course fine for a game, but it's not exactly what Chris promised us. Newtonian flight model. Physics completely accurate. The problem is CIG hasn't worked on some very basic physics yet. To clarify, no one expects perfect physics or Kerbal orbital mechanics in star system, just physics that look alright at first glance. And my comment got 76 upwards, well it got more later. Of course, Spectrum is CIG's turf, they can do whatever they want. But I don't see me insulting comments and assertions on the topic of stuff. What I write is pretty much the truth. Chris promised us all those things, made all those huge announcements, and now in year 14 with over $1 billion in funding, we see very little or nothing of it in the game. And again, I want Star Citizen to become a fantastic game and a huge success. However, it should be a fun and interesting game, not a lowest effort 1.0, which is most likely what we will get. If my comments, and I wrote many of my comments many times in the last 12 months on Spectrum, are insulting and assertion on topic of stuff, I can pretty much stop posting on Spectrum. CIG is now banning me from Spectrum for comments I wrote identical weeks, months, years ago on Spectrum. And I guess quoting CIG employees and Chris is now a crime, a bannable offense. I absolutely do not insult any staff on Spectrum. From now on, everything I will write on Spectrum will just get deleted and I will get banned again, maybe even perma-banned. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
They're the same picture.
Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter or on Blue Sky.